recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Gotmark76 this week, 1990.
Hello wrestling fans, welcome to an exciting edition of World Championship Wrestling. I'm your host Gotmark76, and wow, Big Van Vader starting off against Ranger Ross nearly takes off Ranger Ross's head in a big elbow drop. We can't even open this show with Big Van Vader dominating Ranger Ross in the ring. As Ranger Ross tries to make a comeback, we saw the debut of Big Van Vader back in July's Great American Bash New Revolution, and Ranger Ross now in control, working over Big Van Vader, but blocked. Oh, and a big right hand, and a big short arm clothesline takes down Ranger Ross. Ranger Ross in well over his head as he steps in the ring with Big Van Vader. This man is dominant. Oh, and an overhead suplex back into the ring. Drops an elbow for good measure, and I think this is the point where Big Van Vader is toying with Ranger Ross. Fans, we have a great show lined up for you today. Stan Hansen versus Paul Orndorff, and a big choke slam. Down goes Ranger Ross. Vader picks up Ross. It could be that power bombing sets him up and has Ranger Ross in position. We haven't even had a chance to go over today's show. Vader goes for the cover, and you can count to 20. This match is over, and your winner, Big Van Vader. I didn't even have time to do a complete rundown of today's show. That match was done in almost record time, but Big Van Vader with a big win over Ranger Ross. Fans, we have some breaking news to report to you. The Total Package Lex Luger, the United States Heavyweight Champion, was scheduled to be in action tonight, and his opponent was scheduled to be Sid Vicious. However, we have obtained some security footage that took place earlier tonight, prior to our cameras rolling, that took place in the parking lot as Barry Windham and Nature Boy Ric Flair attacked Lex Luger in the parking lot. The footage that you are about to see happened again earlier tonight before we began recording, and Lex Luger will not be in action tonight. If it wasn't for the fact that Sting was nearby, the Total Package may have been seriously injured, but there he is. Wrestlers go to the outside to get some air, and it looks like Windham and Flair knew that Luger was out there alone, and thank God Sting was close by to come to his aid. But the damage done, and Lex Luger will not be competing tonight against Sid Vicious. Instead, the Junkyard Dog will take his spot. The big main event for tonight's show is match number 1 in the best of 7 series between Stan Hansen and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The winner, of course, of that best of 7 series gets a U.S. title shot against the U.S. champion. And as we were told last week, Nature Boy Ric Flair has signed a series of contracts to compete for the U.S. title against Lex Luger. So a lot going on involving the United States Heavyweight Championship. Also on tonight's card, the World Television title will be defended as Flyin Brian Pillman defends against one half of the Fabulous Freebirds, Jimmy Jam Garvin. But right now, fans, we will take you to ringside as the Junkyard Dog squares off against Sid Vicious. Again, the Junkyard Dog filling in for an injured Total Package Lex Luger. And welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. The Junkyard Dog taking on Sid Vicious. He is the substitute for the Total Package Lex Luger. This match was supposed to be Lex Luger versus Sid Vicious, a non-title U.S. match. But Lex Luger, again, if you're just joining us, was jumped in the parking lot by Barry Windham and Nature Boy Ric Flair, and he will be unable to wrestle tonight. And if it wasn't for Sting saving him, then maybe more damage could have been done. I find the timing of that attack by the Four Horsemen quite interesting. It was just last week when Nature Boy Ric Flair told us his future plans, and they included going after the total package. He is a former six-time World Heavyweight Champion. He has a lot of, shall we say, stroke here in World Championship Wrestling. And he lost that match to Sting back at the Great American Bash to no longer be able to challenge for the world title while Sting is champion. So we were all wondering what Ric Flair's next move was going to be. And he told us last week he is going after Lex Luger's U.S. title. He said last week that Lex Luger knew what it was like to chase Flair when he was world champion, and now Luger will know what it's like for Flair to chase him. So, of course, that attack in the parking lot could have been done to wear down the total package for a future U.S. title shot that Ric Flair would have. As Junkyard Dog working over the leg in a single leg crab has Sid Vicious in trouble, but Sid able to use his big body and his weight to throw over the Junkyard Dog, and JYD is about 300 pounds himself, so the big leg strength of Sid Vicious coming to his rescue there as he drapes the Junkyard Dog and drops him head first to the top turnbuckle, goes for the cover, referee counts, 2 and 3, no! JYD barely gets that shoulder off the mat, and Sid arguing with the referee over the speed of the count, and Junkyard Dog trying to come back with a headbutt. Another headbutt stuns Sid in the clothesline. Over the top rope and over goes Sid Vicious as the Junkyard Dog trying to make a comeback. Of course, our big main event is Stan Hansen taking on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, the first match in their best of 7 series. The winner gets to become the #1 contender to the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. So a lot going on in the U.S. title scene as JYD goes for a cover on Sid. Oh, and Sid powers out at 1. Sid Vicious finds himself alone here in World Championship Wrestling once again. It was back at the Great American Bash when he reunited with Dan Spivey. Last year they reunited back in May. But due to contract obligations with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Dan Spivey is back in Japan, and a clothesline over the top rope sends over JYD. So Sid Vicious entering the singles ranks here. And if I'm Sting, I would be keeping my eyes on big Sid Vicious. As Sid drops down the Junkyard Dog on the outside floor, and a big boot to the head knocks down the JYD. The size, the power, the absolute domination that Sid Vicious brings to the World Championship Wrestling roster is just absolutely amazing. This guy has all the talent in the world, and you'll hear me say that wrestlers are the future of this business, and a lot of times we bring up names like Sting and Lex Luger, but this man, Sid Vicious, has all the tools it takes to be a major force in this business for the next several years. And he's in the ring with a veteran. The Junkyard Dog rolls him over, goes for a cover. Referee in position, counts 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Sid. Junkyard Dog wisely stays on top. You didn't see Junkyard Dog arguing with a count, and a big headbutt stuns Sid, throws Sid into the ropes. Ooh, and a stalemate. Sid, using his body and his strength to his advantage, has JYD up in a Gorilla Press Slam. Up and straight down to the mat goes the JYD. Again, JYD is 300 plus pounds, and Sid Vicious picked him up like he weighed nothing. And now working the neck of the Junkyard Dog is big Sid Vicious. And slams his head down to the mat. Sid could be lining him up. No, goes for a cover instead. Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out by Junkyard Dog. And Sid now setting him up. What's he have in mind here? Kick to the midsection. Could it be the power bomb? He has him set up, picks him up, and slams him down to the mat. He's dragging Junkyard Dog to the center of the ring. I don't think it's going to matter. He hooks the leg. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And your winner, Big Sid Vicious, here on World Championship Wrestling. Here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. The Junkyard Dog was in control for most of this match. But I honestly had to say that I never really felt that he was in position for victory. He was on the offense, don't get me wrong, but Sid had all the near falls in this contest as the Junkyard Dog gave Sid all he could muster, and Sid still came back, hitting that power bomb maneuver and getting the 1, 2, 3. And again, Sid Vicious is a very dangerous man. And if I am Sting, I am making sure to keep one eye open and on Sid Vicious. I mean, this man, multiple times in this contest, picked up the 300-plus pound Junkyard Dog as if he were a case of beer. And that man right there has title contention on his mind. Fans, the World TV title's on the line next as Flyin Brian Pillman defends against Jimmy Jam Garvin. Don't go away. And welcome back to World Championship Wrestling as Jimmy Jam Garvin gets a World TV title match, and the big head scissors by Flyin Brian to start this match off stuns Jimmy Jam Garvin. Pillman going to work on Jimmy Garvin. Garvin back in control, picks up and throws Pillman hard into the ropes in a belly-to-belly suplex. Going for the cover, will we have a new TV champion? 1, and a kick out at 1 by Pillman. Oh, a big forearm shot, reversal by Pillman, into the ropes goes Jimmy Jam. Up and over goes Garvin. Up and over goes Pillman. And a beautiful drop kick takes down Jimmy Jam Garvin. Flyin Brian finds himself in a very deep personal feud against Nature Boy Buddy Landel. Those two men had a match a few weeks ago at the Great American Bash, and it was Buddy Landel who attacked Brian Pillman as Garvin, taking advantage of the distraction by Hayes on the outside. Garvin drops an elbow across the chest of Flyin Brian for good measure. Pillman trying to fight out, but Garvin just too much, at least at this point in the contest. A big forearm takes down Flyin Brian, and Garvin setting up Pillman, and with a knee to the back of the head, rams the face of Brian Pillman into the mat. And Jimmy Jam Garvin using his experience to his advantage here, and has him locked in some kind of a Cobra clutch into a Russian leg sweep. Goes for the cover. We can have a new TV champion. 1, and a kick out of 1 by Pillman. The young heart and desire of Flyin Brian Pillman. And a big clothesline by Jimmy Jam Garvin as he celebrates to the crowd here at center stage. Jimmy Garvin has done a lot here in World Championship Wrestling, a former World Tag Team Champion with that man, Michael Hayes, at ringside. And Jimmy Garvin has held regional titles all over this business. He was a top contender to the TV title just a couple years ago, but that was another lifetime. That was pre-Fabulous Freebird days. And he finds himself getting one more opportunity with Flyin Brian as champion, but Pillman trying to make a comeback. Kick to the midsection, setting up Jimmy Garvin for a pile driver and spikes him down. Jimmy Garvin close to the ropes though, and again Michael Hayes making his presence felt, distracting Brian Pillman, and a roll up from behind. Garvin has the tights. 1, 2, and 3. No! Pillman gets out. Oh man! Garvin had the tights. And Pillman barely escaped. I thought we had a new TV champion for sure. but this is fired up Flyin Brian, and he has taken down Jimmy Garvin with a bunch of, and a big splash, hooks the leg. Will Pillman retain 1, 2, and 3? No, a kick out by Garvin. Pillman fired up. He knew that TV title almost escaped him. But wait, Garvin, a brain buster. Down goes Pillman. We're going to have a new TV champion. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, and 3. No. Pillman kicks out again. Don't ask me how Pillman kicked out of the brain buster, but he did. And Garvin having words with the referee. Pillman trying to make a comeback. Kick to the midsection. DDT takes down Garvin. Hooks the leg. Counts 1, 2, and wait. Oh, Garvin got his shoulder up, but I thought Hayes was going after the referee. And now Hayes up on the apron trying to distract Pillman, who's waiting for Garvin to get back up. Could it be Air Pillman? He leaps, and it is Air Pillman. Takes down Jimmy Jam. Drags Garvin to the center of the ring. Goes for the cover. Will Flyin Brian retain 1, 2, and no, a kick out by Garvin. Wow, what a back and forth contest this is for the World TV Championship. Both men with extremely near falls. And there was twice during this match I thought for sure we would have a new TV champion. Pillman with a series of clotheslines off the ropes. Oh, misses a drop kick. Garvin using his experience to his advantage and a high knee lift takes Pillman down. Goes for the cover again. 1, 2, and no! Pillman barely gets his shoulder off the mat. And there have been many times in this contest when I thought Jimmy Jam Garvin was going to win the World TV title. Up and over and a big elbow, and Garvin nails him. Fans, I'm being told in my headset that we need to take a quick break. We will keep the cameras rolling. If anything happens, we will show you the outcome when we come back. Don't go away. The conclusion of this match right after these words. And welcome back again. During the commercial break, Jimmy Garvin in control. Another DDT. This is the third one of the contest. Does not go for the cover, instead going to celebrate to the crowd. That's premature on the part of Jimmy Garvin. Garvin with a big right hand, another forearm, another right hand, and a big left. Garvin now throws Pillman into the turnbuckle. Again, throws Pillman into the turnbuckle, runs, charges, kick to the midsection, blocked. Pillman trying to come back. Pillman now has Garvin up, and a gun wrench, and across the knee, across the chest. What a maneuver by Pillman, and Pillman's going up top. Could that be the opening that Pillman needed? Pillman is up top. He has Garvin set in his sights. He leaps and nails a crossbody off the top. The referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And your winner and still World TV Champion, Flyin Brian. What a back and forth match this was. There were several times I thought that Jimmy Jam Garvin was going to walk away as the World TV Champion, but it was not meant to be. The heart and desire of Flyin Brian proved to be too strong, and he was able to get victory over Jimmy Garvin. What a victory for Flyin Brian, and another successful World TV title defense. Here are some highlights from the contest, and Jimmy Garvin in control for most of the match, but there is your winner and still World TV Champion, Flyin Brian. Fans, our main event is next, the first in the best of 7 series between Stan Hansen and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The winner is the #1 contender to the U.S. title. Don't go away, we'll be right back. And welcome back to World Championship Wrestling as Paul Orndorff and Stan Hansen in the ring. A big football tackle by Stan Hansen. These two men had a wild match. back at the Great American Bash in what was originally supposed to be a #1 contenders match for the U.S. heavyweight title. And they fought all over the Baltimore arena, backstage, in the locker room, at catering, in the garage. They were everywhere. As Hansen goes for a cover, trying to end it early, and Orndorff kicks out. So the World Championship Wrestling Committee, the Championship Committee, I should say, announced a best-of-7 series between these two men. As Hansen again goes for the cover, and Orndorff gets his shoulder up. I can only imagine what these two men put themselves through in a single match. I cannot imagine the abuse they would take if this match goes past the minimum of 4. As Hansen again goes for the cover, and Orndorff won, and the kick out at 1 by Mr. Wonderful. I mean, there's a good chance that by the time this best-of-7 series ends, again, the first wrestler to win 4 matches will be the winner of the series and a #1 contender to the U.S. title. Hansen again going for the cover, 1, and the kick out at 1 by Orndorff. There's a very good chance that by the end of the series, both men will be too worn down and beat up to challenge for the U.S. heavyweight title. As Hansen throws Orndorff hard into the turnbuckle. Again throws Orndorff into the turnbuckle, and Hansen throwing up the big horns of Texas as the fans here in center stage boo. Running in a big splash in the corner, and down goes Orndorff. Hansen rolls him over, goes for the cover, 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. So Orndorff now has not had much offense in this contest. He's looking to rebound, but Stan Hansen staying on top of Mr. Wonderful. Ooh, that has got to ring the ears of Mr. Wonderful. Both forearms across the ears. And Orndorff has been in trouble this entire match. But Hansen misses with a big fist. Orndorff now has a chance. We're setting him up for a pile driver. He's looking to put Hansen away early and spikes him down with a pile driver. Orndorff out of nowhere hits a pile driver, 1. And with a kick out of 1 by Hansen. Orndorff can't believe it. I can't believe it. Orndorff has been on the defense most of this match. This match has been controlled by Hansen. Out of nowhere, Orndorff hits the pile driver, and then Stan Hansen kicks out at 1. Orndorff goes for the cover again, and the kick out at 1 by Hansen. Wow! Orndorff now working the neck. He already spiked pile drove him once. Working the neck now, Stan Hansen, and slams him down to the mat. And drops a knee to the ribs. That has got to hurt Hansen. I don't care who you are, a knee to the ribs is going to hurt. And now Hansen back in control. Working the arm of Orndorff, misses with a big boot. Orndorff with an elbow to the side of the head, reels Hansen into the corner. Orndorff in control, back and forth again. Orndorff ramming the head of Stan Hansen into the top turnbuckle, counted 10 times, and down goes Stan Hansen. Orndorff stomping away. Whoever gets this victory takes a commanding 1-0 lead and puts himself in a big position to pull out the best-of-7 series. This first match is very important, but quite frankly, every match in this series is important. As Hansen throws Orndorff out of the corner, setting him up. It could be that lariat. Orndorff getting back to his feet, is nailed with a lariat. And down goes Orndorff. Hansen hooks the leg. That has to be in 1, 2, and 3. No! Orndorff kicks out. Orndorff kicks out, much to the dismay of Stan Hansen. He can't believe it. Hansen now picks up Orndorff, throws him hard into the turnbuckle, and down goes Mr. Wonderful. Hansen could not believe it. I can't believe it. Hansen kicked out of the pile driver. Orndorff kicked out of the lariat. What are these two men going to do to each other? And Orndorff picks up Hansen for the second pile driver of the contest. And down goes Hansen. He's not moving. Orndorff hooks the leg. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And Mr. Wonderful takes a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. What a very physical contest this was. between these two men. And here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. Hansen kicked out of an earlier pile driver by Orndorff. Orndorff kicked out of the lariat by Stan Hansen. And that was the first of two pile drivers. Hansen kicked out of this one. But he was not lucky to kick out of the second one. And this victory puts Mr. Wonderful in the lead, 1-0 over Stan Hansen. Here's that lariat. Look at that. Ran over Paul Orndorff. And again, Orndorff kicked out at 2 7/8. Oh, the hand was coming down for 3. But there's your winner with a 1-0 lead over Stan Hansen. And these two men will go at it again here next week in our main event for match number 2. Fans, until next week, I'm Gotmark76. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.